Hello again. So today I'm studying prepositions. So I'm gonna use chapter 8 of Greek Essential Grammar. Um, so excuse me if I pronounce anything different. Just keep in mind that I'm actually studying. This is my study session. So let's do it. And I will read everything and explain anything that may sound obscure. Okay, so let's start. Chapter 8. Preposition, the prepositional phrase. Okay, so introduction to prepositions and prepositional phrases. A preposition, in, from, etc., is placed immediately before a noun phrase in order to indicate the relation of this phrase to some other phrase. So basically a connector. A phrase introduced by a preposition is known as a prepositional phrase. In the house, from the river. The chief prepositions in Greek are apo, from, since, by, them, ia, for, about, mehri, until, up to, me, with, son, like, se, to, into, at, and in, horiz, without. In Greek, a noun phrase including an emphatic personal pronoun used after one of the basic prepositions appears in the accusative case. Accusative case refers to the direct object. So after the preposition you have a direct object. For example, Stin Athena, to or in Athens. So this is the preposition, this is the direct object. Stin Athena. Semena, to me. However, some prepositions are used with noun phrases in the genitive case, remembering the genitive case refers to the possessive or a noun that modifies another noun. For example, enadion, against, exetias, because of, and metaxi, between. These three are the only ones that can be followed by weak personal pronouns. These are the exceptions. The uses of these other prepositions are covered in alphabetical order in section 8.2. We're gonna get there. Finally, there is also a group of adverbs, mostly of place, that can be used either with a weak personal pronoun in the genitive or together with one of the basic prepositions followed by a noun phrase, a phrase that starts with a noun. In the accusative case, this last group is covered in section 8.3, just further down. A few prepositions can be followed by an adverb. An adverb is a word that changes a verb of place or time, such as μέχρι εκεί, up to there, από σήμερα, from today, για τώρα, for now. The uses of individual prepositions. Here we give the chief uses of each preposition in alphabetical order. Keep in mind you can always pause this to read, you can go back, so feel free to use as you would like to make more sense if I'm going too fast on this. Από, from, in expressions of place. Είμαι από την Athena. Είμαι από την Athena. I'm from Athens. Athens. Έφυγα από την Athena. I left Athens. Um, the reason I'm going fast through this is because this is a familiarization first, right? So we check everything out, we see the patterns, and then when we want to put that in the long-term memory, we have to drill. We have to write those sentences down, make flashcards or whatever you prefer, lists, or just write a little text or paragraph, and keep on drilling it until you understand how to use it and you can use mechanically, meaning like muscle memory. So I think mechanically wasn't the best word. What I was looking for is muscle memory. It will just come out naturally. So moving on, from or of in expressions of cause. Tha pethano apo tin pina. I'll die of hunger. From or since in expressions of time. Perimena apo to proi mehri to vradi. I waited from morning till evening. So apo to proi from morning, mehri to vradi, mehri to vradi till evening, or up to or until. Menoistin patra apo to whatever this number is, and now I'm gonna give you a little hint. I personally don't know how to pronounce this number. So what do? We appeal to Google, and what we can do is this: just write the number, and it will read it to us.
1992.
Slower.
1992.
And if it's still not clear, you can always switch around and actually write 1992. And guess what?
1992. 1992.
Hilia Eniacosia Elen, um, Enenida Duo.
1992.
Hilia Eniacosia Enenida Dio. Remember that you have an N and a T, sounds like D. Okay, not to confuse the pronunciation of this. Let's go back. Okay, so that's how you get the numbers. I've been living in Patras since 1992. Of in partitive expressions. A partitive expression is an expression that refers to a piece of the total and not the whole thing. In this case, enas apo tous diavates. One of the passers-by. Not all the passers-by, but just one of them. This is the partitive expression. Canenas apo sas. None of you. By in expressions of agent. E diadilosi ori, organo, organothike apo da sindicata. E diadilosi organothike apo da sindicata. The demonstration was organized by the union. Sometimes you may see phrases like this and you think, holy cow, why am I learning that phrase? Sometimes we don't need to, we, we don't have to learn this sentence. We use as an example, apply to another phrase, check against a grammar book or ask somebody to correct the sentence, and we move on. Chances of us using demonstration and union anytime soon is pretty low. Okay, made of in expressions referring to material. Ένα τραπέζι από μάρμαρο. A table made of marble. Then, in expressions of comparison. Είμαι μεγαλύτερη από τη Μαρία. I'm older than Mary. Through, past, by, along in expressions of passage, often with the verb perno, I pass. Πέρασε από τον διάδρομο και μπήκε στο σαλόνι. So remember, MP is the B sound, so μπήκε στο σαλόνι. She went along the hall and entered the living room, or he. Θα περάσω από το σπίτι σου. I'll pass by your house, or I'll drop by. Η μίγα, again, μπήκε στο σπίτι από το παράθυρο. Παράθυρο. The fly came into the house through the window. In colloquial usage, από can be reduced to up before the definite article. Απτήν Athena. Απτήν Athena from Athens. Yeah, for in expressions of benefit. Το αγόρασα για σένα. I bought it for you. For in expressions of purpose. Πάω για ψώνια. I'm going shopping. I go for shopping. Για is also used with na to introduce clauses expressing purpose, in order to or that. About in expressions of reference. Μιλούσαμε για τον Mihaly. Mihaly. We were talking about Michael. Enadion. Enadion. Remember NTD. Enadion. Used with the genitive, possessive or noun modifying noun of a noun phrase, a phrase that starts with a noun, or a weak personal pronoun to mean against. O polemos enadion ton narkotikon, the war against drugs. Then έχω τίποτα εναντίον σου, I've got nothing against you. Κατά, used with the accusative to mean about, especially in expressions of time. Κατά τις 11, about 11. Κατά τις 11, about 11. Used with the accusative to mean according to. Κατά τη γνώμη μου, in my opinion. Used with the genitive to mean against. Κατά της θανατικής ποινής. Remember O, Omicron, Iota sound like E. Ποινής. Against the death penalty. Logo. Also less commonly exetias. Logo is used with the genitive of a noun phrase to mean because of. Το μάτις ματιώθηκε λόγω της κακοκαιρίας. The match was cancelled because of the bad weather. Exetias is used with the genitive of a noun phrase or weak pronoun in the same meaning. Καθυστερήσαμε εξαιτίας σου. We were late because of you. Καθυστερήσαμε εξαιτίας σου. Με, with, in the company of. Ήρθε με τα παιδιά της. She came with her children. With, instrument. kopse to psomi me maheri. Maheri. She cut the bread with a knife. By means of transportation. Thapame me to leoforio or metapodia. 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 We'll go by bus or on foot. Manner. Ton agapai me pathos. Ton agapai me pathos. She loves him passionately, with passion. By basis of calculation. Pliron, plironome, plironome meton mina. I'm paid by the month. Dressed in to koritsi meta kokina. The girl in red. To koritsi meta kokina. 2. In expressions of periods of time. Ehume mathema mathema edeka me dodeka. Dodeka. We have a lesson from 11 to 12. Despite, in spite of. In the construction molo, in which olo agrees with the noun in gender, number, and case. I know this may sound a little bit crazy, gender, number, case, but go by parts that will make more sense. And some rules you just need to, okay, this exists, acknowledge it, and move on. Don't abide on one little rule, otherwise you're gonna get overwhelmed or just waste your time. Molly T zesty. Molly T zesty. Despite the heat. The construction molopu, even though, introduces concessive clauses. A concessive clause is a clause that suggests the opposite of the main clause of the sentence. For example, although it's raining, we gotta go out. So the main part of the sentence is we gotta go out, but the opposition is the rain. So like we have a reason to not go out, but despite the fact we're still going. Meta, used with definite noun phrases to mean after. Metati sin, sinavlia. Metati sinavlia. After the concert. Remember here, if you have this vowel, this diphthong combination before um, a voiced consonant, so L is a voiced consonant, is gonna sound like avi. So sinavlia. If it would be a t, tau here, would be synaptia. Synaptia. I'm not saying synaptia is a word. I don't know if it is a word. I doubt it would be a word. But if it would be a T, it would be synaptia. But since it's an L, is synavlia. So af or av. In this case, av. So metati synavlia. With emphatic pronouns in indefinite noun phrases, meta is normally followed by apo. Metazzi or metazzi, metaxi, metaxi. Used with the genitive of noun phrases and weak personal pronouns to mean between or among. Metaxi Athenas και Thessaloniki. Thessaloniki. Metaxi, metaxi Athenas και Thessaloniki. Between Athens and Thessaloniki or Thessaloniki, more commonly expressed by anamesa se plus the accusative plus a part with the direct object. Anamesa στην Athena και τη Thessaloniki. Μεταξύ μας, between us, between ourselves. Μέχρι, also less common with os or eos. Until, up to in expressions of time. With que, it means up to and including. In American English, through. Περίμενα μέχρι τις 10. Περίμενα μέχρι τις 10. I waited till 10 o'clock or the 10th of the month. Η έκθεση, έκθεση θα παραμείνει ανοιχτή μέχρι και την Κυριακή. Την Κυριακή. The exhibition will remain open up to and including Sunday. Or the exhibition will remain open through Sunday. By in expressions of time. Το σακάκι σας θα είναι έτοιμο μέχρι την Τρίτη. Your jacket will be ready by Tuesday. Your jacket will be ready by Tuesday. As far as or up to in expressions of place. Θα σε πάω μέχρι το Σύνταγμα. Remember, NT, the Σύνταγμα. 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 Θα σε πάω μέχρι το Σύνταγμα. I'll take you as far as Σύνταγμα. The constructions μέχρι να and μέχρι που are used to introduce temporal clauses. Para, used with noun phrases or phrases that start with a noun to mean contrary. Para te θέληση που. Para ti θέληση που. Against my will. Often with appropriate form of olus to mean despite, in spite of. Paroles tis προσπάθειες tis, despite her efforts. To express the number of minutes before the hour, note that the word order is the opposite of English. Deca para 20. Deca 10 para 20. Para, with the accent on the last syllable, should not be confused with the adverb para, with accent on the first syllable, which is used in the construction para πολύ. So too much or very much. Para πολύ, too much or very much. Para is also used as a conjunction in comparative constructions, rather than, or in constructions such as paroti and parolo. Parolo pou. Although to introduce concessive clause, remember, is a clause that is opposite, suggests opposition to the main clause. Pros, used with noun phrases to mean towards. With weak pronouns, the construction prostomeros plus the genitive, possessive, or noun modifying a noun is used. Πηγαίναμε προς τη Λαμία. Πηγαίναμε προς τη Λαμία. We were going towards Lamia. Γύρισε προς το μέρος μου. Γύρισε προς το μέρος μου. She turned towards me. With a small number of adverbs of place, pros is followed by the neuter plural, means no gender, nor masculine nor feminine. Plural of the definite article, ta. Pros τα πάνω, upwards, literally towards the up. Pros τα πού, where to, in which direction, or towards the where. Son, used with noun phrases and emphatic personal pronouns to mean like or resembling. Ένας anthropos Santo Michali, a man like Michael. Είσαι σαν κι εμένα. Είσαι σαν κι εμένα. You're like me. San is also used in the construction sana, as if, as though. Se. Se is always reduced to s before the definite article and is written with it on as one word. In that means you're gonna add the sigma to the definite article. In colloquial usage, it may be reduced to s with an apostrophe before a word beginning with a vowel. Sola, sola, in all things. It is used with noun phrases and emphatic personal pronouns to mean to, the indirect object, to έδωσα στη Χριστίνα, το έδωσα στη Christina. I gave it to Christina. To and into as emotion. Πήγα στο Λονδίνο. Πήγα στο Λονδίνο. I went to London. Πέρασα στο άλλο δωμάτιο. Πέρασα στο άλλο δωμάτιο. I went, literally passed, into the other room. At, in, location in space or time. Σπούδασα, σπούδασα στα Γιαννίνα. Σπούδασα στα Γιαννίνα. I studied at or in Yanina. Στις 10. Στις 10. At 10 o'clock or 10th of the month. In lapse of time. Se λίγες μέρες. Σε λίγες μέρες. In a few days. On location. Βάλτο στο τραπέζι. Βάλτο στο τραπέζι. Put it on the table. Χωρίς, or, less commonly, dihos. Dihos. Used with noun phrases and emphatic personal pronouns to mean without. Ήρθε χωρίς τα παιδιά της. Ήρθε χωρίς τα παιδιά της. She came without her children. Χωρίς αδεία. Χωρίς αδεία. Without permission. Δεν θα το έκανα χωρίς εσένα. I wouldn't have done it without you, or I wouldn't have done but for you. Χωρίς is also used in the construction χωρίς να without to introduce clauses. Το έκανα χωρίς να το θέλω. I did it without wanting to, without meaning to. Okay, so now with compound prepositions and adverbs used as prepositions. In addition to one-word prepositions covered in section 8.2, what we just finished, Greek has a number of compound prepositions made up of two words that introduce noun phrases and emphatic personal pronouns. These are of two types. First, compound prepositions that can only be used with noun phrases and emphatic personal pronouns, which is type 1, and compound prepositions consisting of adverb of place plus the preposition, which is type 2. In other contexts, adverbs that form part of the second type can be used with the genitive of the weak personal pronoun instead of a preposition. Type 1. This type consists of a small number of basic compound prepositions. Adi ia instead of. Adi ia. Piga ego ati ia to Georgos. Piga ego adi ia to Georgos. Georgo, sorry, Georgo, to Georgo. Adi is also used in the construction adina instead of to introduce clauses. Adina pai o Georgos piga ego. Adi na pai o Georgos piga ego. Instead of George going, I went myself. Ektos apo, except or apart from. Oli πήγαν εκτός από μένα. Sorry. Όλοι πήγαν εκτός από μένα. Everyone went except me. Από μένα. Except me. Sorry. Εκτός από μένα except me. Εκτός από τους Έλληνες πήγαν μέρος και Τούρκοι. Εκτός από τους Έλληνες πήγαν μέρος και Turkey. Apart from the Greeks, some Turks took part too. Ektos is also used in the construction ektos an, alternatively ektos ki an or ektos ean, unless to introduce conditional clauses. So it means unless. Meta apo, after. Meta apo to party. Apo may be omitted before a noun accompanied by the definite article. So meta apo to party, after the party. Meta apo mena, after me. Meta is also used in the construction meta pou, after, to introduce temporal clauses. Prin apo, before. Prin apo to party. Apo may be omitted before a noun accompanied by the definite article, same as before the party. So here you have a meta apo to party, prin apo to party. So after the party and before the party. Prin apo mena, before me. Prin is also used as conjunction before to introduce temporal clauses. In addition, there are a number of other combinations of adverb plus preposition, such as analoga me, according to, in proportion to, also ia, as for, sinfona me, according to, schetica me, schetica me, related to, istera apo. Sorry, istera apo, after. Okay, and then type 2. This type consists of a group of basic adverbs of place that may either a. be accompanied by a preposition followed by a noun phrase or emphatic pronoun in the accusative with the direct object, or b. be followed by a weak personal pronoun in the genitive, possessive, or noun modifying a noun. When these adverbs are accompanied by prepositions, the following combinations are most common: anάμεσα σε, ανάμεσα σε, between, among, απέναντι σε, από, opposite, γύρω από, σε, around, δίπλα σε, δίπλα σε, next to, έξω από, outside, not used with weak pronoun, κάτω από, under, below, κοντά σε, κοντά σε, remember nt, κοντά σε, near, μαζί με, μαζί με, together, with as in together with, μακριά από, a long way from, away from, μέσα, μέσα σε, inside, μέσα από, through, from inside. Μπροστά από, μπροστά σε, remember MP, b, μπροστά από, μπροστά σε, in front of. Πάνω, πάνω σε means on, πάνω από, above. So we have examples here. Πίσω από, behind. Πλάι σε. Pay attention on this one. This is πλάι σε, which is besides, not play se. The accent is not in the iota, it's on the alpha. So it's πλάι σε. Here's some examples of these adverbs used with and without prepositions. Ανάμεσα στα σπίτια, between, among the houses. Απέναντι μας, opposite us. Γύρω από το δέντρο, δέντρο, around the tree. Some people would pronounce this dentro, but I don't know. Sometimes you may hear pronunciations of nt as just de, and sometimes you would hear inde. So it could be dentro or dentro. I'm still to find out if this is a regional thing or if there's anything else that would influence the difference in pronunciation. Δίπλα σου, next to, singular. Έξω από το σπίτι, έξω από το σπίτι, outside the house. Κάτω από το τραπέζι, κάτω από το τραπέζι, under the table. Κοντά της, near her. μαζί μου, with me. Μακριά από την πόλη, μακριά από την πόλη, far away from the city. η γάτα μας μένει συνέχεια μέσα στο σπίτι. Η γάτα μας μένει συνέχεια μέσα στο σπίτι. Our cat stays inside the house all the time. Πέρασε μέσα από το σπίτι. He or she, it, passed through the house. Again, MP, μπροστά μας, in front of us. To piatto, sì, piatto is inverted, so to piatto in panno sto trapezi. To piatto in panno sto trapezi. The plate is on the table. O diakoptis in panno apoto trapezi. O diakoptis in panno apoto trapezi. To switch, the switch is above the table. Piso apomena, behind me, emphatic, behind me. Piso apomena. Plai sto spiti, plai sto spiti, beside the house. And this is it. I hope this was somehow helpful. It was definitely helpful to me to go over this. And now what I'm gonna do is just write flashcards for each one of the prepositions showed here and drill them until I'm comfortable with them. These are the main prepositions in modern Greek. There's a huge list of prepositions, but if you learn by frequency, you're better off in your study time. Um, so if you focus on structures and combinations that are used more often, you're going to be able to use the language faster. If you have any questions, you can place it here. If I made any mistakes, please correct me. Um, and let's keep on moving forward. And I'll see you guys next time.